The mind is a wonderful servant, but a tyrannical god. Our world is flooded with a praise of thought. We elevate thought to be the highest of all human achievements, as if our minds are somehow perfected and capable of figuring out the most difficult and deep down problems that affect human nature. But the problem is our thought becomes so intense that it completely disables the other part of our being. We're made to put energy not only just into thinking, but into action, and to will and obedience and outward creation. Too much thought creates a false sense of caution, a false sense of depth, of insight and wisdom. We believe that with the more thought that we give to something, the more purity or virtue we will create out of a problem. The mind becomes a shield, a hiding place. The perfect example I can give for this is just in my own life, how hard it is for me to create things or to do a simple task. Or I even have to almost debate with myself as to why I need to clean my room or do the dishes or go to work or feed myself. As if someone like me should be able to have everything figured out, everything under control. I shouldn't have chaos. I shouldn't have dirty dishes. I shouldn't have complicated relationships. I shouldn't have issues that are outstanding. I love to optimize, and I hate the idea of wasting time on lesser things. And that is something that also is reflected in the world around us. The entirety of the modern culture, full of devices that show us the opinions of thousands of people, all who seem to have their act together. We listen to vlogs, we listen to podcasts and videos, all telling you what perfection is. And when we see those videos and those people talking, we don't see a dirty room. We don't see a messed up life. We don't see all the strings that are still loose in their world. We just see a picture perfect image of them, and then we immediately judge ourselves based off of that. And out of all of that vast ocean of ways of living, we're given hundreds of life changes that we need to accomplish in order to be like the people we see. And then we find that we only have energy for a couple. And so we sit back and wonder, well, which one do I choose? And even worse is the world becomes an echo chamber. Not only just the world, but our own mind. We sit and we overthink and we complicate everything, and it just bounces back and forth because we have no one else to talk to about it. We have such small communities nowadays and such small friend groups that the only person we really have to bounce ideas off of is ourself or a freaking AI bot that basically is trained just to repeat back to you what you say anyway. And then the world as a whole, no one tries to create their own unique spin on things. They don't try to put themselves into the work that they do. They just copy one person that made a better video than them. So all of things like YouTube just becomes an echo chamber of people bouncing ideas off of each other and repeating the same thing, and no one actually going forward and implementing something new. No one trying to actually say, hey, this is my life experience. These are the things that I've seen. These are the things that have worked for me. Here, world, this is what it is, and all of its imperfection. What do you see that is unique to you? Can we compare and contrast and find a grand conclusion? I'm not going to come out here, give you all my life advice, and then assume that my way is the best. I want to upload and download my thoughts on life so that we all can find things that we have in common, things that we share, and things that we all can work on and do better. It needs to be a rule of measuring against each other and not just our own thought. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against thinking, and I think I just proved that a minute ago. I want people to be able to measure against each other and not just against themselves. Thinking is fine, and wisdom and discernment and planning for your future is all great things. But when thought becomes a replacement for courage, obedience, repetition, reality, and trust, then you lose all the strengths of thinking in the human mind and replace them with weaknesses. Overthinking is thought doing the wrong job. Oftentimes, what we overthink are moral problems, skill issues, choices, or panic. The only option for a moral issue is obedience to what we know is correct. When we have a skill issue, the only way to learn is to go and do the same thing over and over and over again with a little bit of guidance from the outside world, like teaching us the right direction. You can't just repeat the same thing and expect a result, but repeat, get some feedback, get made fun of, get yelled at, build some callous choice. Problems where you have to choose between two things that are equally good can only be solved with courage, and panic can only be solved with separation from the problem, stillness, and a community of people around you. Overthinking mostly protects you from feedback. Feedback sucks. We don't want to know that we're doing something wrong. We don't want to know that what we created is terrible and no one likes. But that's the only thing that teaches us to grow. So why does overthinking ultimately destroy you? Your mind needs data. And if it has no reps, just like an exercise, when you go and you do an exercise, you do reps, repetition, doing the same thing over and over again to put strain on that muscle so the muscle can grow. Your brain in the same way needs data. It needs to know things that worked and things that don't. And when it doesn't have that, all it's left with is the imagination, imagining what works and imagining what doesn't work, which is super biased to how your world is. If your world is small, then you have a very small table of data to pull from, and therefore you'll have very incomplete outcomes for your thinking. Correction fuels healthy thought. Think of the game like Battleship, an old game that we used to play as kids, where you have an opponent and you have absolutely no idea where any of their ships are, and the only thing you can do is start firing out into the open. You can have some sort of strategy, you can shoot for the middle, you can shoot for the sides, and you can have a whole plan figured out, but in the end, the very first turn that you play, you're shooting basically into the dark. It's the same way with life. The more you sit back and you refuse to shoot into the dark and get made fun of and get embarrassed, the longer it'll take you to actually knock out the opposition. The biggest thing is that indecision and overthinking only saves you from learning. If you know you can do something and it won't kill you or put you in jail, then it is an affordable option to try. Think of life like school. You don't get to go into college for free. Often you have to pay a tuition. It's the same for the college of life. After you get out of college, after you get out of school, you aren't done learning. Your brain still needs more data to figure out life as it changes. When you have a problem with overthinking, and I am probably the worst of all mankind, the thing that helps me the most is writing down. And what I always say too is collapse outward. If you have panic and emotion and all that stuff built up inside of you, it becomes this giant cloud of mystery that you have no idea how to tackle. And when you actually start writing down all the things that are bothering you and are messing with your head, then you can actually visually see your enemy, which seeing your enemy is half the battle. If you just keep your problems and all the things that are keeping you overthinking all mixed up in your head inside of thought, then you're never going to know how to actually have a plan of attack. So writing down and journaling every morning, waking up and just brain dumping the things that immediately are bothering you when you woke up. And then before you go to bed, doing the same thing, just writing down the things that bothered you in the day. And then finally, after writing all that down, ask yourself, what do I actually know? What can I not control? And what can I do about it today? There are things that you, in reality, actually know about the subject that's bothering you. For instance, for me, I overthink relationships a lot. What am I overthinking about the relationship? Oh, I don't know if she doesn't like me. I don't know if she thinks I'm a weirdo. I don't know all the things that she's thinking. What I do know though is that I don't put myself in enough scenarios where I can talk to her. So all of these what ifs about her are things that I can't control, are things that I don't actually know. But what I do know is that I'm never actually in a place to talk to the girl I like enough to actually get a read on how much she actually likes me. Like, you can see where your lack of action towards something steals valuable information from you. So what can you do? You can go talk to that person. You can go start writing down. You can make a video and post it. And if it absolutely tanks and flops and people make fun of you, then you know what not to do. And that's huge too. Once you go out there and you get this data, then you can think about it. You can think about the data. And that's when your brain's going to work at the optimal strength. In the end, overthinking is thought trying to fill in for courage and intuition. It's not about thinking less. It's about getting data for better thoughts. The only way you're going to overcome overthinking is to give your mind stable things to think about, actual data, actual real world application. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I always like to end as well, not only with a practical attack, but just a call for you to either disagree in the comments or offer your own insight into the topic that I talked about. Maybe you have ideas that you feel that I missed and would like to share to the rest of the people. So please, if you could leave a comment for other people in the future that might see this video that might help them out, please do. And if there's something you didn't like, please disagree. Feel free to. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great day.